Kevin, let's look at go back to last season with Liverpool, and we covered them many times on this programme, and the way they were starting games in Europe, these incredibly fast starts, and just kind of finishing the tie off after 20 minutes, half an hour.
This is just a hallmark of the way they play, you know. This is what Bayern are going to be up against now. This is Man City last season, 3 goals in the first half hour. You know, it was Milner playing it forward, but it was how quickly to get up, get forward, get into the box. Salah with the finish this time. You know, in this game, Liverpool had 33% possession, but bossed it in goal-scoring terms. But in overall, you wouldn't have thought that. It just shows sometimes stats you can't read into. 33% possession, should be getting beat. A fantastic goal, Oxlade-Chamberlain there. Milner winning the tackle. I'm surprised he's not starting tonight with bringing a bit of experience into the back line. But just the numbers to get forward. They had nearly 10 in their own half there. Everybody looking to get into the box. To finish up with 4 in the box here. A great header from Mane. Three of their own players going to head the ball. It's just relentless, that intensity. It's so hard as a Liverpool player to be able to do that for 90 minutes. That's where I worry for them with Firmino. They're saying he has a virus. It's very difficult. I've had it, and you think you're fine, you're getting back over a virus. You only had this a couple of days ago. To be able to play at that intensity when you are struggling with a little thing like that, to play the way Liverpool play, it might be the one little thing where I'd say, you know, I'd worry for Liverpool tonight.
Like, Liam, do you think that Liverpool are playing as well at this stage of the season as they did last season? The 3 boys haven't scored as many goals as, you know, by the middle end of February from last year.
They've altered it slightly tactically, Dara. They've become a little bit more concerned with defence, and I think the signing of Van Dijk, I know we're going back 18 months, the goalkeeper, players maturing like Trent Alexander. I think they're a better team defensively, and they're less flamboyant than they were last year, but they've only lost once in the Premier League. I know they've had a couple of bad results in the Champions League, but, you know, that intensity that they showed against Manchester City, they need to repeat that tonight, because I think Bayern are vulnerable, and if they can play like that and deny them space, deny them time on the ball, because all the continental sides, I think we saw last week with PSG, very comfortable on the ball, bossed the game in midfield. Liverpool need to stop that. You know, the Bayern have some good players in midfield. Liverpool need to stop that, and they need to play like they did against Manchester City. But I think that overall, they're a better team than they were last year. Not as exciting, maybe, not as a flamboyant, but better team. They've only lost once in the Premier League, as I said.
Yeah, and those alterations, Richie, as Liam points to, like, that's given them greater consistency. 1 Premier League defeat, sustained this title challenge, Champions League challenge.
Yeah, I mean, they've had in recent years the run in Europe, the results in Europe have been very positive. What the challenge they have this season is something they haven't faced in probably a decade. They're competing for the Premier League as well as Europe, so it'll test their squad. It will test them mentally. There will be a lot of pressure and a lot of anxiety around Anfield to see how they'll cope with all that. But I do expect them to start tonight with the intent to dismantle Bayern Munich as quick as they can, as often as they can. This isn't a team, I'd agree with Liam, they are a bit more conservative than they used to be. It's not gung-ho all the time, but when they get opportunities to break forward, they do so lethally. And I think Keita's inclusion in midfield as well is a sign of their intent as well. They haven't gone for Milner, for example. So at every opportunity to go forward,
had
they
a break
will do
as
so.
well, Dara. No game at the weekend.
Trip
Been
to
away
Marbella
for a little bit of warm weather
training. They haven't played in 10 days,
so.
Yeah. Now, could
Marbella.
that
They
leave
should
them,
be fresh. They
But could
should
it
be
leave
fresh.
them rusty? I know that's obviously...
No, I don't think they're rusty. I don't think they're rusty. I think maybe they suffered a bit with nerves against Leicester City and Liverpool. But I think, as you mentioned tonight to George, European night at Anfield, I think that'll all go away, and they'll really, really play with that intensity, and they'll be fresh, and they'll be sharp. I can see them putting on a really good performance tonight.
OK.